All right. This whole Civil War thing is very real, and the media has done an excellent job of making sure people are really stupid and they don't know what's going on. You know, when they call it the Mockingbird media, it's CIA Project Mockingbird, where the Pentagon pays the major media outlets $2 billion a year to cover what they want and not cover what they don't want. So,
It's a pretty provocative phrase. Do you really
all
feel
right,
it's that
check
bad?
this out.
Do you really think it's come to that? Well, let's start with that question. American Civil War. I mean, it's a pretty provocative phrase. Do you really feel it's that bad?
Well, I mean, civil war is defined by the experts as 1,000 combatant deaths a year. So obviously, I don't think that's happening or that's in the near future. But civil conflict is defined as 25 deaths a year, and
All right, bullshit. The main factors in the Civil War, according to this exact media, which I believe mentioned the militias being driven by xenophobia. Let's see.
Armed militias reportedly on the rise, driven by xenophobia and racism, but also by fear of government itself.
I think what the government gives the
All right, well, there you go. So only the white people can be xenophobic. Meanwhile, it's I've watched like 10, 15, 20 videos, the best ones on the internet. And they mention race and they mention region and ethnicity and religion, but they ignore what we all know. The inner cities are violent, horrible places. And yeah, there's poverty in the inner cities by design, the Democrat strongholds, and those crime areas are constantly expanding. And that's what the Democrats want. You know, the flood of illegal immigration, calling the whites xenophobic when it's a consensus that if nothing changes, even with all that people say Trump's doing to build the wall and stuff, the Democrats banked on a white minority to win this past election. And then when they stopped blaming Russia for losing, they said it's because they ignored the white working class. It's a problem. It's a problem that if you watch all of these videos, look up Civil War II on YouTube, watch a bunch of videos. They'll say region, they'll say balkanization, but there's already so much. I mean, if Trump reaches out to the black community, and that's great, but the amount of black on white and Hispanic on white violence is astronomical. It's 10 to 15 times higher than white on black and white on Hispanic. So to say these guys are xenophobic is racist against whites. Our media is a white genocidal lunatic machine. But in their eyes, they'll be the proletariat when we become a communist nation, and they'll be rich and, just keep stirring the pot so people keep slaughtering each other. That's what the media does. That's what they will do. But there's obvious factors here. I mean, there's like this one guy, like this one governor in Virginia who wants to disarm. He's threatening to use the National Guard of the state against the state to kick doors and rob citizens in violation of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, morals, our God-given rights, the Constitution, what makes America America. He's threatening to kill America and use his militia, which the National Guard is the governor's militia. That's fucking wrong. The National Guard should be the militia of the people. It's insanity. And America is known for diversity and violence. The violence, the vast majority of the violence happens in areas where it's majority black. If you look up the 20 most dangerous countries in the world, they're all majority black. It's a fact. Look at Mexico. It's got nothing to do with being black. They're not black. But they're a third world country. This is how Rome fell. There's a book called Suicide of a Superpower. Illegal immigration, cheap labor, decadence, multiculturalism. You lose all culture, become moral relativists, nothing's worth fighting for, so people are fighting over the stupidest things in the streets. But imagine you're a Democrat. I'm going to use a base analogy. And you live with a bunch of jackals. And the jackals are, relying on the white working class to provide for them. Now, you live among a lot of jackals, and you know that if they aren't getting what they need, that they will eat you, rob your house, and destroy the area that you live in. You're going to, just for survival, vote Democrat to protect your own life. This is the type of mentality and the type of attack that America is under. There's major crime centers. That's where it needs to happen. And the corrupt politicians.